Sure, you have plenty of questions. One thing is ED in guys, blood flow. So they're giving you ED drugs. Typically, if you're diabetic, you have neuropathy. Well, even Viagra is not going to help the neuropathy if the nerve is problematic. But the blood flow increases. Remember, I told you PGE1 is a natural vasodilator. So this is the next best thing to natural Viagra, and it's 100% normal. I mean, natural stuff. So if anybody has a problem in that area, these oils, phenomenal. I've had doctors tell me that. Well put. I've had doctors tell me this, so it's not just me saying it. So I can't believe what those oils do. Okay, if anybody has questions, I'm sure they're good for everybody. I don't have them. I'm a scientist, but you know, you can ask me a general question, but the oils, because they go into the cell, is by body weight. So there may be a normal thing, but typically it's 725 milligrams of this formulation for every 40 pounds. If nothing is wrong with you, so that would be 4 capsules a day for a 160-pound person. If they're healthy, if you have cancer, if you have heart disease issues, you could take double. I mean, temporarily, cancer patients can even take triple, but you're going to get too much omega-3 over time, so you don't want to take that much long term. So there's temporary, you can take a heck of a lot more. You could take double forever, but that's the dosage on the oils. Minerals typically only need 2, I don't care what you weigh. They don't go into the cell, and they're not making it. Same thing with the liquid herbal. It's not going into any cell, it's just going through things. So with the liquid herbal, an ounce a day, and that's, I think, a capsule with the dry herbs. And it's about 90% as efficient as the liquid. Liquid's just harder to take, but it's more powerful if you have cancer, if you have heart disease. It's also topical if you don't want to get a cold, your throat. Like I take probably 2 cups a day when I'm traveling. I always used to get colds and flus and respiratory things. I get nothing now. Just kills everything. The airplane, I don't care what it is. Jet lag, take 2 capsules every 2 hours. There is no jet lag. You're off the plane, boom. I told doctors this, and they never believed me. I said, when are you going to start listening? And a couple of them did, and they said, I can't believe it. You know, I'm on That's the oils. They're oxygenators, so they're phenomenal. I was on a plane trip once to Thailand, got off the plane after 14 hours, right on a TV show, and they couldn't believe it. I mean, there was no time. It was literally from the plane to the show, boom, and just couldn't believe it. Yeah. Children need this too. Even pregnant mothers, absolutely required. Yep. It's fundamental. If a pregnant mom is taking this, the kid comes out, the kid from heaven. There's no skin problems, there's no cough problem, there's no immune problems. I mean, this is so fundamental, and the focus is all gone. They're having you take everything except this. Yeah. The oil is 1 capsule, 725 milligrams per every 40 pounds. I mean, prophylactically, typically it's an ounce a day, but you could take the whole bottle every day. There's no pharmacologic problem. It's way too much. But if you feel a cold coming on, you know, sniffles, you take half a bottle 2 days in a row, cold's gone. Gone. Because it's all comes respiratory. You breathe this stuff in. So it's hitting it right there. Yeah, the oils won't knock out the cold the way the herbal will. For everything else, the oils are superior. For that, SEAC, yes. Yes. The oils they work in different metabolic pathways. So the oils directly produce PGE1, which is the biggest anti-inflammatory your body can have. Now, the herbal soothes everything. It's like, remember, I was telling you my father's urethra, every time he peed, it was agonizing. Well, this coats it, and it soothes it. So anybody with Colon cancer, it's phenomenal. We've had colon cancer patients. The surgeon can't believe, we get to them late, and even after a couple weeks, I didn't have to take out the whole colon. I can't believe this kind of stuff because it soothes everything. Remember, inflammation is everything. So you put them both together, the oils and the herbal, especially the liquid if you have a real condition, that you want to solve. It's phenomenal. If you're just doing maintenance, the capsule herbal is fine. The capsule SEAC is fine. This is very good for fighting food allergies too. Actually, somebody contacted me that runs that, or food intolerance, she calls it. Same thing, I think. Talking about, yeah, she's in the Netherlands and giving a lecture this week, as a matter of fact, to a pile of doctors about this and the oils. Yeah, she's very impressed.
What do you say about the nuts? Walnuts, you get oil,
These oils are in the nuts because they're virtually all nuts. Yeah. You have to, if you could pull up on the internet, like USDA food analysis, and it'll tell you, but they're so close. Now, you may need 25 of them or 30 of the nuts to get enough, and make sure they're organic. They got to be organic.
And they have the omega-6.
Yes, they're all preponderance of omega-6. Walnuts. Yep. Walnuts, almond, you name it.
What about 25 of them?
Yeah, you get a pile. I mean, that's to get the full amount. It's a perfect snack. Perfect snack is nuts. Good question. Sore throat or cold, the liquid herbal, the liquid SEAC is phenomenal. And you can take a lot of it. No, because it's not going to hit it topically. So if you have a sore throat, or if you have a cold, it's the whole respiratory tract in the throat. You're much better off nailing that thing topically with the liquid herbal. Pneumonia too? Phenomenal, yeah. Absolute. Because it's upper. Flu shots, good question. I wouldn't touch one with a 10-foot pole. They're worthless. Number one, typically the flu strain they're giving you isn't what the shot does that comes over, because they change. And there's it doesn't work. It's all lies. Very bad lies. I've read a lot about it. I don't know if there's, I don't know what the negatives, I mean, there always is on any drug, any kind of thing with the side effects, but it just doesn't work to stop the flu. I mean, they're crazy. The 1 year they had, remember like a decade ago, they ran out of the flu shot? They had less cases of the flu without that shot than they ever had, and they never talked about it. Oh, actually, I wrote in PEO Solution, now I recall it, the head of the agency that looks at this went over the stuff and said how worthless it was. He goes, I couldn't believe that I was promoting this and it's worthless. I think the whole damn quote is in my book. I was shocked. This is the head guy. Doesn't work. And the older you are, the worse it works. And elderly is who they're targeting. Horrible. No, they don't care. They just want your money. It's sickening.
While you're on that topic, there was some nurse that published some blog that was saying that unless you know exact words to say when you're signing your life away before surgery, they give you permission to go ahead and shoot you up with a flu shot or whatever.
Probably does.
When you actually die from the flu,
Oh, you can have the flu from the shot. Absolutely. That happens a lot. And people do die from it. Happens all the time. You're right. So the side effect is death. Perfect. The only way the flu would kill somebody is if you're such a mess. Think about it. They say people die from getting it. Yeah, because you're on the verge of death anyway. You have to be, and this just puts you over the edge. You shouldn't be in a condition where something like that kills you. I mean, it just shouldn't happen. With these oils, it won't.
what would you say is the greatest inflammation-causing food?
The adulterated oils, anything with the processed parent omega-6, they're inflammatory as heck, automatically. That's what causes the whole scarring in the artery. Not from the body, from the garbage you... Yes, yes. If it's not organic, it's going to inflame you, absolutely. Sugar stinks. Sugar's not good. There's 1 teaspoon of sugar in the bloodstream. 1. You have 5 quarts of blood over a gallon. 1 teaspoon of sugar. And I was reading this stuff early on. It's like 5 milligrams or 5 millimoles per deciliter. I'm an engineer, so it's what the hell does this translate to? I don't look at this up. 10 minutes, a teaspoon. It's like, this can't be. How the hell can there be a teaspoon of sugar? We're told to live on carbs. Carbohydrates are sugar, same thing, okay? I said, can't be 1 teaspoon. So I gave it to some colleagues, check this. Is it 100? Was I off by 2 decimal points? I said, no, it's 1. I'm going, my God. 1 teaspoon of sugar in the system, the average American is told to eat 100. And where does everything above that 1 go? Well, there's something called the insulin response right to body fat. So this is the whole way that exercise nonsense came up, because they're getting you fat, and then they don't know what else to do except burn it off, and that means your whole job is exercising, and you can't exercise enough to burn it away, unless you want to make exercise your full-time job. But yeah, a little sugar, not bad. I tell people 10 to 12 teaspoons. So here's 2 numbers to remember. Every 20 calories of carbohydrates, a teaspoon of sugar. Every 5 grams is a teaspoon of sugar. And when you start seeing how much sugar is in the foods, and I don't care if it's brown organic rice, it doesn't matter. The only difference is fruits and vegetables. Fruits are different. You get a quarter to a half of the effective glucose hitting the bloodstream. I talk about this in the book, so it's really important. Fruits are different, because we do have a sweet tooth, but it's meant to be fulfilled with fruit, not pie and cake and ice cream. It won't do it, but you eat fruit, 2 pieces of fruit, you're done. You don't want any more. 2 pieces of ice cream, 2 scoops of ice cream, you want a third. Bet you can't eat just 1, you want the whole bag of chips, right? The whole bag of cookies, can't stop. Not supposed to be that way. It's called a positive feedback response. It's supposed to be negative. The more steak I eat, the less I want. I'm getting full. Not with candy. So that tells you something is really screwed up here. But the protein powder fruit smoothie thing is the biggest thing for a diabetic you'll ever see. It's in both books. They don't know this. Diabetic endocrinologists don't have a clue.
My shoulders are a lot wore out, and they got me somewhere. I've been taking oil for years.
Well, sometimes it's like you can't fix a house if it's 3/4 burned down. So there's always a stage where even this, which is the best thing I know what to do to build it back, but there is a machine that builds bone. If you send me an email, I can find it. Yeah, because my wife used it on her knee. A doctor told me about it. 3 to 4 months, it rebuilt the cartilage in her knee. He was supposed to get 2 knee replacements. He skis. He never got the cartilage. It may be that sort of thing. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask the doctor specific. To bone on bone? Yeah, well, this rebuilds cartilage. Yeah, send me an email on, just look brianpeskin.com and you could send me an email. Yeah, good question.
Tell me what your opinion is of organic coconut oil?
Organic coconut oil is fine. It's a highly saturated fat. Coconut oil is 93% saturated fat. And if you're frying a saturated fat's what you want, it can't get screwed up. This is how bad the medical community is. There's no saturated fat in a clogged artery, by the way, none. Every cardiologist I asked, what? I said, how much saturated fat's in a clogged artery? 50? I said, no, try 0. When I first saw this, it was like, okay, they're saying 0, but it's to the closest, maybe 20%, because what's the accuracy? Was 0.1. There's none. Use something called high-resolution chromatography. 86% clog is the adulterated omega-6. No saturated fat in a clogged artery. Your body uses saturated fat first for energy. The best oil of coconut. The only one that has a higher smoke point is organic red palm oil. But with the red, you get a problem. It can turn things red. Won't turn the food red unless you have excess. But I use that as it's like 400-degree smoke point. But virgin organic coconut oil is excellent. Yeah, that's the bulletproof coffee, right? That's what they call it. Yeah, coconut oil is excellent. And it smells like coconut, but there's no taste. My wife would always give me hell over this. Oh, it tastes like coconut. And then one day I just used it and lied to her and said, of course it's not coconut. I said, what's it taste like? Oh, it's fine. I said it was coconut. I mean, because you couldn't believe it. It smells so coconutty, but there's no coconut taste. It's a good question. I haven't looked a lot about thyroid. It is common as heck. It's epidemic. It's got to be tied to these oils. I'm just not sure why. Because everything that's epidemic in these amounts are tied to these oils because they're so fundamental. But luckily, you know, you can get natural thyroid hormone like Armour Thyroid or something, and it's not real problematic. So if I had any problem, it would be thyroid is the easiest one to take you know, take the medication for and fix it. But it's got to be tied to these oils. I'm just not sure exactly how. Oh, if I don't know it, I'll think, yeah. Yeah. The oils and liquid herbal will be excellent for you. Excellent. Yeah, the liquid Essiac. Yeah. It's not going to hurt anything, no. 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 Nothing negative whatsoever. It's going to be very good. Yeah, you don't want statins. You don't, they're horrible. They're just horrible. I've written a lot about that. If you look at my website, you could pull up papers. There's a section at the top on papers. They don't work. They just don't work. It's all a con job. And the doctors don't know statistics. They get suckered too. Good. The smoothie is such a winner. Works for everybody. It fulfills the appetite, doesn't curb it. It fulfills the sweet tooth craving. What? That's great. That's great. Well, that's fine. The normal is 70 to 90 milligrams per deciliter, okay? So what they've done is made everybody higher. It's not supposed to be much. But what you don't want with diabetes is the swings, because the swings are what causes the problem. They did a big trial called the ACORD trial. I think it was 2008, 2010, for very tight control of diabetics. And the tighter they made them, the worse they were. They couldn't figure it out. It's because of the damn swings. You don't want it. Your brain thinks it's starving. And what it's doing is it kills your pancreas. It's not what they think. It's not what they think. I talk about this in PEO Solution too, diabetes. That's what got me into the whole field. Very good.
So tying into diabetes, you mentioned earlier in this conversation about doubling for cancer on the oils short term. So if you take one for every 40 pounds of body weight, if you're type 2 diabetic, do you take more oil?
You can take some more because the cell membranes, that's the insulin resistance. Yeah, so you could take 50% more. Mm-hmm. And then the protein powder fruit smoothie thing is going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, you can take less of the blood thinner. So the oils are a natural blood thinner, so what you do is you get a test, maybe after a month, and when the clotting time increases, you take less of the drug, not less of the oils. I've had people go, yeah, I got to take less oils. I said, are you insane? You're backwards. This is a natural thing, making it where you don't need the drug, and you're taking more of the drug. You know, are you crazy? This is how bad it is. Yeah, you're going to need less of the. You shouldn't need any blood thinner. There's no reason to if you're taking the right oils. It's a horrible thing. I don't know much about it. I mean, it's a vaso. Is it for a heart problem? Well, nitric acid is what they're trying to get to. You know, it's a vasodilator. You're probably going to need less of it with the oils and the herbal. Within a year, you should need almost none of it. I mean, this stuff, you read the book, PGE1 dissolves occlusions. So you can be clogged and get unclogged. Yeah. Exercise doesn't do anything for this. I mean, it has nothing to do with this state of exercise. It does a few things, but it's not going to do anything for your problem. Nothing. I mean, exercise is good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't do what people think. I mean, people think they can exercise a nutritional deficiency away. They can't. And tons of people in great athletic shape die of heart attacks. I mean, in the book I talk about it. Guy's running his tail off and drops dead. And then the doctors go, well, if you weren't doing all this exercise, you would have died 5 years ago. See, you can't prove lack of a negative, right? Can't prove lack of a negative. It's like Trump. No, I didn't do it. Yeah, prove you didn't do it. How? I mean, all I can do is give you circumstances. There's a first-class flight attendant there. What did I do in front? But you can't prove lack of a negative. So that's the kind of stupid stuff they say. Yeah. Well, there's less sugar in it. The phenols and the other stuff in your dreams. You know, in your dreams. But there's less sugar in a dark chocolate, so it is better. Yeah, it's nothing. You know, it's not going to help you do anything. Nah. Yeah, Alzheimer's, I'm absolutely convinced. I'd love to do a trial later on for it, is clogged capillaries in the brain. Yeah, that's the oils. They unclog it. And it should be with, you know, I've had people say it hasn't done anything, but I don't know if they're taking enough. I don't know how it could not do anything. I'd say the opposite. I don't know how it can. I've got tons of people in their late 80s that are sharp as a tack. I mean, there's just no impairment whatsoever. And there shouldn't be. Some of it. Some of it. You just have to see and take less of the other stuff and see if you can wean yourself off it. That's what you do. And if there's still a problem with the other stuff, then put it back in. No, I'm saying the glucosamine or something, take less of that and see if you have arthritis, if you're soreness, yeah, you could take, okay, yeah, the liquid herbal is very good with arthritic problems. I had an arthritic joint years ago, gone. So the liquid herbal is excellent for it, and the oils. Do both of them. It's not bad, and the worse you think it tastes, the more screwed up you are. That's a perfect sign. It's not bad. If you go, this is awful, you're a mess. And I'm just telling you from what everybody says, because I can drink the whole bottle. It's fine. But I've had people go, this is horrible. So the more horrible you think it tastes, the more you're screwed up. It's a good sign. Yeah. No, it's a good question. This should help. How much, I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
What's the verdict on baked potatoes? Good carbs, bad carbs?
There's no real such thing as a good and a bad, the way they say this stuff. All carbs are going to make you fat. So it's a matter of how fat. So how high is up? A baked potato is probably 5 teaspoons of sugar. I mean, the charts in the 24-hour diet on a lot of this stuff, or there's charts for these things, or you can look up on the internet. But there's a lot more sugar than you think. So, I mean, there's no difference between that baked potato and a candy bar. You may think there is, there's not. I mean, I'll eat half a baked potato all the time, but a lot of butter, sour cream.
What has some minerals or vitamins?
Something, but I mean, it's hard. You know, you eat it because you like the taste. That's it. I mean, that's what I go for. I take the oil, I take the oils, the minerals, and the herbal, and the rest of it is, if I eat a lot of carbs, I know are going to make me fat. I want to be in decent shape. Can't eat them, so you got to decide what's more important. So you cut them in half. So it's like on a hamburger, throw away the bottom or the top of the bun. Eat half the thing. The potato, you eat half of it. Piece of pie, you eat half of it. You just cut back, and the difference is phenomenal. And it doesn't take long. And you're always bloated, by the way, with carbs. So every ounce of carbs, 3 ounces of water. You don't believe me, eat a pizza and go to bed. You'll be up at 3 in the morning drinking a quart of water. You're a sponge. So you get rid of the carbs, you're not a sponge anymore. Now, if you want to run around being a sponge all day, fine. You're bloated every day. It's really stupid. Only carbs do it. Stevia's process thing, it's, you know, you just got to be careful with it. I'd rather, stevia is about the best thing. The sugar alcohols I'm not big on. The artificial sweeteners, saccharin, all this stuff is horrible. They're neurotoxins. So stevia is probably the best. There's some sodas that have stevia that are very drinkable. Like root beer, there's 8 to 12 teaspoons of sugar in one bottle, if you can believe this. And I told you your system has one. Drink one lousy root beer, you just added another 7 to 11 teaspoons of sugar of fat. Lack of sugar does, and the oils do. Biggest reason is they're wired. The kid is wired living on carbs, living on sugar. What happens is you have an insulin response, so your body goes insane trying to get out all of this sugar. So you spike insulin coming out, but it overshoots. It's a system response. It's trying to put up, but it puts too much, then it gives you a low. And it's these spikes that are hellacious. So, I mean, if I eat a banana split, and there are 2 of them, you'll be bouncing off the walls too. But you got a little kid, so 1 scoop does the same equivalency based on his body weight to an adult. We're giving a kid the same portions as a damn adult, but it's small. So it doesn't have a gallon of blood in it like we do. It's small. It has half of that, but you're putting in the same overload of sugar. Again, we've done it to ourselves. It's obvious as heck. This is a new phenomenon by overdosing on processed carbs. It's easy to fix, easy as hell. These oils help it automatically, and then natural fruit. Fruits are get that 24-hour diet. It's all in. Yeah. Now and then you may crave something, but I'm talking like once a month. I used to crave 2 pizzas a week. It was horrible. I'd eat the stinking thing at 10 at night and go to bed. So when I tell you a quart of water, it's a quart of water. It's horrible. You don't sleep at all. You eat at night, you do not want to be eating carbs. They put your sugar through the roof. Horrible. I mean, you're better off not eating anything at night, but if you're going to snack, but cucumber with cream cheese is perfect. The fruit smoothie is the best thing in the world. And you go, but there's carbs in there. There is, but again, fruit is different. Now, I talk about it in the book. The diabetic endocrinologists don't know this. I'm shocked they don't, but they don't. Nobody does. The biggest discovery for diabetics you've ever seen, nobody knows it. Good. It's so rare. No. Bless you. No, they don't. No. It just goes to water almost immediately. It does nothing. There's all kinds of stuff. Now, if you get IV hydrogen peroxide, that's different. It will kill things in the bloodstream. But spraying it, drinking it, taking toothpaste with it, garbage. All garbage. Yeah, first one, GMO foods, I don't touch. You want to be an experiment, go ahead. Again, every time we touch something, we screw it up. Trans fats was the first thing. Cancer and heart disease, massive epidemics, and then, of course, diabetes with it. It's all tied to trans fats. So every time we touch something, high fructose corn syrup, every time we do something, it's screwed up. With GMOs, they lie on the results. It's horrible. It's another Hillary thing. When you see what's been dumped with GMO foods and animals getting huge tumors, they're lying their tail off to you. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. What was the second question? I couldn't hear you. Oh, yeah, microwaving I don't touch either because it heats from the inside out instead of the outside in. They tried doing this with blood, and they killed patients. So when I read that, it was like, I'm not doing this. I mean, if you want to do it with water, food, I don't touch it. I use an oven, stovetop, I don't care what it is. I don't microwave anything. Again, you want to be an experiment, go ahead. I don't. I mean, I can't recommend doing stuff where, again, the body is so good it takes decades to see the damage. And then once it's there, it may not be repairable. There's certain levels you can't fix it. You're screwed permanently. Like type 1 diabetes, I can't bring that back either. That's what I tried to do originally, but nobody else can, so I don't feel too bad. But I can't fix that. But nobody can. So if you're type 1, there's no reversal. Like cancer, if you're full solid tumor cancer, you can't bring that cell back to normal. They'll say you can, they're delusional. You can't. You either kill it or you cut it out. Cannot take a fully cancerous cell back. Now, something in the middle you can, where it's not fully cancerous, living on sugar. You can. Like stage 1, you can, because it's not a fully cancerous cell. But if it's fully cancerous, you're cooked. Kill it or cut it out. The only two choices you have. Then you take the oils and stuff so the other cells by it don't turn cancerous. But you're not fixing that cancer. So I'm not big on things where the word's not out. Yeah, if you crave something, absolutely. Salt is excellent. Now, the salt I like is Flower of the Ocean. It's a natural salt from the sea. It's outstanding, and it's the salt you get in the stores for the chemical industry. It's 99% sodium chloride. The salt in the ocean's about 85%. Very different. So, yeah, I use a lot of that salt. You order it, mail order. They may have it here. It's called Flower of the Ocean. It's the best salt in the world. Culinary salt. I mean, which one? Okay. As long as it's from the sea, it's good. Yeah, do not get processed salt. Now you can use it for like salting food or something. You want to get a crispy skin or boiling. You can use kosher salt. It's just bigger crystals. That's okay. I'm talking a salt you actually eat, not just dump it on something. Yeah. But salt is good. You need salt. Been lied to again. Does not cause high blood pressure. Lied to. It's not the reason you got it. Yeah, good question. 1 meal a day, ideal. It's all you really should need, by the way. This whole 3 meals a day was concocted by the food industry. Breakfast being the biggest meal of the day, bacon industry. They just made it up. Now, if you're a farmer, actually doing manual work, getting up at 4 in the morning, okay, I'll give you that. Are you a farmer? No, I sit in my tail all day typing on a computer. Then what's that have to do with you? Nothing. I never have breakfast. A lot of times, today I just had dinner at 4 o'clock. I had no breakfast, no lunch. Not hungry. Just not hungry. But you're much better off. And also to control diabetes, much better. Now, of course, you're not shooting insulin if you're not eating food. I mean, what the diabetic physicians will go is, oh, you can't do that. So I'm telling you to take insulin 3 times a day. Well, yeah, if I eat. I mean, they're insane. They're absolutely insane. My wife's type 1 diabetic, and the stuff I've heard these idiots say, I just can't believe what's coming out of their mouth. It's like, take this amount of insulin and vary the food you eat for the insulin. Well, shouldn't I go backwards? Vary the insulin for the food? Yeah, but that's too hard. Just do this. Well, what the hell's the difference? You mean too hard? I'm still either taking not enough food or too much food. They're insane. They're absolutely crazy. 2 more questions? I'm not big on vitamins. I don't do anything with vitamins. They're in most of the foods. So I'm not. What was the first? Oh, probiotics? Antibiotics and things certainly impact the digestive system. I think it's another big hyped up epidemic. I don't touch them. And do you have a digestive problem? I mean, They'll say anything. They'll absolutely say anything. Oh, that's phenomenal. Yeah, the liquid Essiac is phenomenal. It's basically a blood optimizer. That's what I'd call it, an optimizer. Yeah, good question. One more? No more. Yeah, one more. Stiff arteries. It's by not having these oils. So your artery is like a straw. So do you want a straw or a balloon where it expands? So if it can expand, it can take the pressure and damp it. If it's a straw, boom, you're going to have 140 over 120. So it pushes out the 120, blows up the balloon, then you get a back pressure of 40. That's the 120 over 80. So right now you have arteries like a straw. You can have two things, arteries like a straw or an occlusion. Remember, if I have a garden hose, just turn that spigot in half the water comes out, the pressure goes through the roof, right? Turn the spigot. So there's two ways you can get high blood pressure. This helps both. High blood pressure medications are horrible. Very, very horrible. Well, I thank everybody, and please, like I said, I'd much rather you get a book and learn the science as opposed to supplements you don't really understand. So I guarantee you read the book, best investment for your life you'll ever make. You have all the money in the world, but if you can't enjoy your health, and people don't realize it till their health is gone, and then it's, man, did I make a mistake. So hopefully none of you in this room will make that mistake. Thanks for coming.